Everybody, weekend edition of Daily Distinction. Hope that you are doing great. Just checking in on a Saturday. Sorry I wasn't here for the last few days because had meetings going on, and that's always a good thing. I'm running behind here. I was trying something different because on Ecamm you could get the reflected background, but here you can't. So let me see if I can switch it without totally messing everything up. Am I frozen completely? Yes. Maybe it's going to catch up here. I think we're better. Hi, everybody. It's live. We're on the fly. Hey, Mark, great to see you. Thank you for being here today. Hey, I just wanted to check in on the weekend. It's, as we always do with Daily Distinction, it's just a brief weekend check-in. It's not our typical full show. But I saw something online I just thought was a really, really powerful statement. Wanted to share it with you, just to kind of get you thinking about it here for the weekend. But first, let's say hello to Scott. Great to see you, Scott. Glad you're doing well. Hope everything is good with you and everybody, in your family, wherever they may be. Ted, hey, walking the lake. Good grief, that's fantastic. It's so funny, Ted. You're walking the lake. Saturday is trash day here at our house. And I was taking the trash out for the trash folks to pick it up. And there's ice everywhere this morning. In Vegas, ice. Holy cow. We're not used to that too much here in Las Vegas. Hey, Donovan, good to see you. I enjoyed our conversation the other day. Tim, it's great to see you, and congratulations on your recent announcement. We had a fantastic time in Hawaii. And we obviously Hawaii's great, but the main thing is too that we felt so safe there, with what they're doing with the precautions and testing and everything else. And, they just seem to take it more seriously. I'd like, for example, when you'd go into a restaurant, before you could sit down at the table, you would see them sanitize the table, but come in with that, the thing that looks like a leaf blower and, spray it down. It was just really amazing. Really, really terrific. So thank you for asking. Hope things are great with you in Colorado. Kevin, always great to see you. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, Ted. Ice in Vegas, ice is for your drink. It's, it's not for your driveway. So, Merv, always great to see you, my friend. So glad that you're here today. Thank you for being around. And Pam, I don't know. I haven't checked back home. Now it's up in the 50s now, but it was kind of a surprised to see that this morning. So I don't know what the temp is back home in Fisher. So, but it's a chilly day. Purdue, I had the Purdue game on while I was getting some work done, and looked a little cloudy and cold in West Lafayette, and a big game with the Hoosiers in Wisconsin today. So it's a big sports day. Okay, so here is what I saw online, and like I said, this is just a quick check-in, just to give you a thought to consider. But I love this line, and I had never seen it before. And that is, you can't charge a dead battery with a dead battery. Now, my first thought was obvious, of course. But then it just sat there and it struck me, right? To charge a dead battery, you've got to have a battery that's got some juice in it. You've got to have a battery that's charged. And so for those of us in positions of leadership, whether it is in a company that we work for, or whether it's in a business where we're an entrepreneur, or whether you're a sales professional in some manner, if you want to get somebody charged up, if you want to get somebody excited, you can't do that if your battery is dead. That is the part that really, really struck me. So our first job, if we're going to charge up anybody else, whether it is in terms of trying to get them to purchase from us, or whether it is to motivate an employee, or whatever it might be. So the first step is with us, not with them. The first step has to be that we keep our own battery charged if we expect to charge the battery of somebody else. So my question is, what are you doing to keep your batteries charged? And I'm not just talking about rest. And yeah, it's about your energy, Jerry. And there's a number of ways that you can do that, right? I mean, you're exactly right. But there's a number of ways that you can do that. It might be that you need to rest and, preserve or regain energy because you've been burning the candle at both ends and you need to get a little rest. It might also be that you need to charge the battery of your thinking. So maybe it means that you read a book. I was on the texting and on a call yesterday with my pal Mark Sanborn, and one of the things that Mark always does is tell me what book he's reading. So I was sharing with him, I'm about to finish the book of it's a book about the first 100 days of the Franklin Roosevelt administration. And so here it is during the time of Depression, and Roosevelt's job was to, not only to provide governmental leadership, the creation of the Civilian Conservation Corps and other things like that, but it was also to provide the inspirational leadership that we're going to be able to get out of this depression. So many things in there I did not know about what had happened and about things that it's still relevant to people today. So Mark and I were talking about that. And so, Mark, before we hung up, said, yep, ordered the book, right? I mean, Mark and I kind of have this deal along with Larry Winget and Joe Calloway, Randy Pennington, and other friends of mine. We have this deal that if somebody says, you got to read this book, you never say, well, why? You just get the book. Because if someone else finds that book is charging their batteries, you just get it. And by charging a battery, it gets me to think about something I hadn't thought about before. It gets me to, for example, the Roosevelt book. One of the things that was really fascinating to me was it wasn't just what he did, it's the attitude that he had about how he did it. When he said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, that wasn't economic policy about the Depression. That was the attitude that people had about being afraid. And so you learn from those. It kind of gets you thinking about things, which charges your battery, right? Which enables you to help others. So if you want to lead and to help others, the question is, what are you doing to charge your own battery? Now, I'm going to suggest something to you, and you may or may not agree, but I'm going to suggest in these times like we've had, it's probably the hardest time that I remember in my lifetime to keep your battery charged. Part of that is the pandemic. I mean, right? I mean, part of it is it's hard to keep your battery charged if you're under a stay-at-home order, or it's hard to keep your battery charged if you go to a restaurant. A friend of mine was talking about going to a restaurant right before they had the lockdown in California, and was saying it was so sad to see, empty tables and servers that knew they weren't going to have a job at the end of the day, and those kind. I mean, it's difficult, more difficult than I ever remember to keep your batteries charged in this particular time. Which means we have to work harder to do it. Whether it's generated by the pandemic or the negativity that's out there in social media, whatever it might be, we have to work harder to do it, but it doesn't mean it shouldn't be done. What are you going to do today, over the weekend, to recharge your battery? Now, hey, it might be that you get away from work. It might be that I'm sure that it's kind of funny. One of the things I used to mention in speeches was that, a lot of folks, to get away, they go out and play a round of golf. I'm sure that when Tiger Woods wants to get away, I'm sure when Rory McIlroy wants to get away, they don't think, wow, let me go out and play 18, right? Because for them, that's work. So doing something that's different from what we do can stimulate our thinking. Ted posted, he's taking a walk around the lake this morning. Good for your health, but good for your mind. I mean, it's part of what we have to do. Donovan, you're right. It's learning more is inspiring. It charges our battery. Curtis, always great to see you. Thank you for being here. Pamela, so good to see you. Yes. I mean, isn't it amazing that we can be mentored by people who passed away even before we were born? We could be mentored by a Roosevelt or by a Lincoln or by somebody because we have the chance to learn about their life and their example through their biography. It is incredible what we can learn. Your mentor could be Gandhi or your mentor could be Martin Luther King, or your mentor could be Mother Teresa, or whomever, right? Because we are able to learn from them. You're exactly right. Hey, here's my friend Joseph. You are so kind. Same to you, my friend, with your live streams. They're fantastic. Well, that's Donovan. I appreciate that. I'm glad. I hope I'm included in one of those three. That is so good. See, there you go, Ted. Ted, you are living exactly what the message is today. It's walking the leg. Hey, here's my great friend Glenn. And by the way, Glenn, I got a bite to eat last night at the M, and I did not play craps, but I was sure thinking about you, my friend, when I was walking by the table. When someone we admire, trust, recommends a book, we can know they have our best interest in mind. Yes, exactly. There's no need to question it. You know, I mean, if Mark or any of my other friends or you, Glenn, I mean, if you hated the book, I wouldn't imagine that you would say, read it, right? And now we have to be discerning about who we listen to. But like you said it absolutely perfectly. When someone we admire and trust recommends a book, right? And someone we admire and someone we trust, if they recommend it, do it, get it. Yet, you know, it reminds me of when somebody have you ever been with somebody and they take a bite of something and they make this awful face and then they hand it to you and say, does this taste funny to you? Or, oh man, this drink is awful. Here, taste it. Well, why would I want to? Why would I want to? Hey, Glenn is in Atlanta. I didn't know that, Glenn. Good. I guess I'm assuming the resident is going on there. Ted, that's great. And listening to Daily Distinction, I appreciate that. So the key for us is to understand, man, you can't jump a battery if your battery's dead, right? I mean, the only way you can charge a battery is if you got something in your battery that can be used to charge it. You're not going to charge or inspire or motivate or move anyone if it's empty. You never drive by and see a house that says for sale by renter, right? You got to own it to sell it, and you got to own it to give it. So let's do what we can this weekend to take some time. Might be reading a biography, might be watching an inspirational television show, might be getting a little extra rest, whatever it takes. Let's do what it takes to keep our batteries charged so that we can help charge others. Oh, I appreciate that, Donovan. Thank you. It's great to have you here on Daily Distinction, but it's also great for our coaching relationship. I really appreciate it. That's why I never eat a clown sandwich. They taste funny. There you go. There's no better way to end our Saturday check-in than that. I don't eat a clown sandwich. They taste funny. Charge your batteries this weekend. I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow, same time on Daily Distinction. And of course, don't forget tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. It's the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott. We're going to have fun tomorrow night. Look forward to seeing you both times. And thanks for watching today, Daily Distinction.